at the Design Summit here at the New York Design Awards. I'm extremely thrilled to have joining me from the Design Republic, Michelle Lynch and Barry Ludlow. Hello.
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 Hello. We're here to talk about Stoli. So, Michelle, let's start with you. What is this project?
So Stoli used to be just a portion of William Grant, like a larger company. So they branched out and they wanted to have their own headquarters in the United States. So they came to us and we kind of were looking at their brand, their identity, and figuring out how are we going to bring that into their new headquarters in New York.
Okay, and in comparison to the other projects that you do, obviously retail, corporate, etc., maybe give me a sense of what this one is in comparison to some of the other works, Barry.
I think it's an interesting combination of all of the practice areas we work in. We work in workplace design, retail store design, media and entertainment, and hospitality. And this has elements of all of those. And I think for us, design, or our design approach is to try to align the culture, the brand, the site, and the client's program. So this, I think, is a great example of that alignment.
Okay. What is the client's program? Tell me more about that.
So this is it's a corporate office for their headquarters, so it has to support people working. But it's also a venue for entertaining, for product launches, for training of mixologists, so it has multiple purposes. And it's primarily a brand immersion space. That's its real purpose.
Okay. Michelle, what does that mean to be a brand immersion space?
Brand immersion. Well, one of the things, as this is their new headquarters, they kind of wanted it to be not too in your face what their brand was, but very clear when you're coming in what their identity was, that you knew you were walking into their headquarters. So it was really flexible. They can use it in terms of the office environment, that they have all these other opportunities within their space as well. So to get the space to be really flexible within their need, but still really be very clearly identified with their brand, which is still kind of developing to an extent. It's evolving and to be able to keep up with the pace of that.
Okay. So how do you then work with them? What is it that they ask for, and then what is it that you take them, I suppose, on a journey to do, to sort of extend what it is that they might have wanted, or maybe they didn't even know that they wanted?
I think that's actually that's a good way to say it. I think it was kind of a conversation. So as the conversation went, it was a lot of back and forth, kind of figuring out exactly how this was going to come to fruition and figuring out how they wanted to use it, because they didn't even really know at the beginning, right? So we started showing them different spaces and stuff like that, and then I think that kind of piqued some of their curiosity and different ideas for how they could use the space. And so it was a lot of back and forth and a conversation of the space to their needs and what they felt like they might be actually using the space for.
Do you want to say something more there, Barry?
Yeah, Stolichnaya is an iconic brand, and this project is really the physical manifestation of that brand. So we undertook a great kind of discovery process to learn about the brand, the heritage. So it's really about the heritage. I mean, it's not historical, it's not looking back, it's forward thinking, but it's very much driven by the brand, by the iconography, by the image of the brand. So the brand and vodka itself is both smooth and rough, so there's kind of a combination of very rough concrete floors, but the highest fabricated glass, gold leaf. And those are all derived from the imagery and the bottle itself. So the red of the Soviet flag, the gold of the wheat fields, the glass. So it's very much the embodiment of the product and the brand. And as soon as you get off the elevator lobby, I think you anticipate that there's something special, that something special is going to happen. And I think as a person coming to work there, it's really meaningful and transformative. As a visitor, it's an exceptional experience. And that's what, we tried to create an experience that was really meaningful, that connected the visitor, the employee, to the brand and to the product.
And does that kind of principle, this idea that you create an experience, does that run across all your interiors?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, I think if you were to look at our website, at our portfolio, we don't have any one kind of style or signature. It's really a response to each of our clients, each of the brands, each of the cultures. And as I said, we work across many different sectors. I think the hallmark is that it's really responsive to the individual client. And I think that's what kind of separates this kind of work and designing for people. So it's not about designing for ourselves. It's not a willful kind of imposing our vision. It's really derived from a dialogue, a collaboration with our clients.
But at the same time, you need to get that client to, we talked about it just before, come on that journey with you. So they might have a particular vision, a very strong brief, but you guys are the designers. How do you get people to try new things, to take on new ideas?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, because I think most people's inclination is to be safe and to do what they know. But I think as designers, our job is to continue to push, knowing that there's always the restraints and constraints of schedule and budget, but within those constraints, to do the absolute best you can to transform or to even disrupt what their thinking is. So I think it's building trust with the client and showing them, kind of spoon feeding them what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay, so let's get back to Stoli. What did you do? What risks did you ask them to take, Michelle?
Specifically risks. Well, I mean, I think kind of the space in and of itself was almost a difficult kind of space to work with. So to propose this idea of, it's like basically a bar when you enter in their reception, but still kind of have this mode that could tie into, we wanted to tie the two spaces, the workspace into the front of house, but still have people be able to work in that regard. I think some of the finishes were, I mean, as Barry stated, it related very directly to the bottle. We went back and forth to make sure that we could get something really perfect and something that was really good for their brand. I think they were, to an extent, pretty open-minded to a lot of the suggestions, thankfully. I mean, a lot of clients can sometimes push back. And I think kind of the lighting, I think they were really excited for the most part. So, and there's a really intricate lighting system in there. The colors all change, and it can be branded based on whatever maybe vodka of the month is going on, but I think they were really up for it, and I think they were more excited, which is good. They had a very specific vision, so they might push back, but I think we were always in a moving forward, so we were always progressing, and I think it worked out well on the Stoli project.
Yeah.
We had a great client. We had worked with John Esposito, who is the CEO. We had worked with him previously at Moet Hennessy. So when he moved to Stoli USA, he brought us in. And then the owners, Russian owners, representatives. So we worked very closely hand in hand with the leadership and owners of the company to really develop the vision and the physical manifestation of that vision.
It sounds like a lot of booze, alcohol.
Well, we have...
How were the meetings? Good?
We have three hallmarks of our practice are exceptional design, great delivery of service, and having a lot of fun. So this fit right into our business model.
Having a lot of fun. Yeah, right.
So the client actually insisted in the photo shoot, one of the photos has, I think, 3 or 4 martini glasses that are full. And, we were just going to put water in them, but they insisted that we actually fill them with the Stoli Elite because they said it's going to photograph better. So,
is that true?
Actually, it tasted a lot better.
It did taste better.
Sounds like it was a long project as well. If you could have done something differently with this project, what is it that you would have done?
I think what I would have liked, and I think this is really common with a lot of projects, is like a higher budget. I don't know if that's really a good answer. I think there were kind of a lot of ideals that we really liked with the client, and we came to this point, but as Barry mentioned, you go over the budgetary concerns, we have these constraints, and we kind of had to modify a few things. I mean, to a certain extent, though, too, that's also part of the fun, is to not lose the design intent, and still be able to get within this range. But I think that would have been... that would have been really fun. And we also had discussed some further AV options, because the space is really flexible in the front, and they do training and different things like that. And we had investigated different ways to kind of, if they were to open different offices in different locations, and kind of ways to connect with different technology and those sorts of things that aren't really in there right now. There's the potential to add it later.
We've been talking about it being made for people. This is a workplace, really,
yes,
that has to succeed for those who are working there. So
yes,
to achieve that, that requires a lot of negotiation, and a lot of thought.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it is a very interactive space. Whenever we've gone there's people kind of going through having like a meeting at the bar in the front and stuff like that. So
I love how you go meeting.
A meeting. Yeah. It looks like a meeting, but I don't know what they were doing before we got there. But yeah.
Right. So wonderful to hear about this project, and of course to hear how Design Republic manages its interiors. So Barry Ludlow and Michelle Lynch, thank you.
Thank you.